All right, let's get to some real politics now. And as we keep speeding towards Election Day, the election, believe it or not, it's only 141 days away. The president's lead, the poll, is now under 1 percentage point. Andrew, the thing is tight.
Yeah, and if you think it's been getting tighter recently, you're absolutely right. 1 year ago, the president enjoyed a lead of more than 7 points in the polls, or at least in the poll averages. As recently as February, that lead was still a healthy 6 points. And today, as Rich mentioned, that lead is now down to less than 1 point. And there's every reason to think that lead could get even smaller or disappear altogether. Just look at the major issues still out there. Sometime between now and next Monday, Supreme Court is could overturn part or all of the president's health care reform law. Then there's the unemployment rate at 8.2% today, and who knows if that number will get bigger or smaller. That is a number that could be seriously impacted by the continuing worries about the European economy. And then there's the money war, which translates into campaign ads between direct donations to the campaigns and billionaire donations to super PACs. Romney and groups friendly to him could outraise and outspend the president, possibly by a wide margin, Rich.
And here's the question. How worried should Obama be? And Dom, I'll start with you. You've contended from the beginning this thing's going to be much closer. I thought the candidate didn't give the Republicans the best shot, and I thought that he boxed himself in the primary. It just seems there's this palpable anger that I saw out there, a bit of fear as to what lies ahead, but this anger that either the president didn't deliver what he promised fairly or not, and secondarily, that they still don't know who he is after 3.5 years.
Well, one, it's not fair. Mr. Obama did sell this hope to America. And he was so effective at it, he pulled out 50,000 at rallies and so on. But how can you deliver when the opposition party in Washington will do their darnest to make sure that you can't deliver on anything?
But fair or not, how much trouble is he in?
He's in serious trouble. Romney, if I was advising Romney, I would say lay low, go on cruise control until Election Day. I would really believe that that's all Romney has to do to win this election. Because rightly or wrongly, even though Obama inherited the mess of a budget and President Bush is gone, they're blaming him.
That's like talking about a heavyweight fight. You don't win the championship by trying to get a decision from the champion.
I don't know.
You got to beat the champion in order to get the title.
No, you absolutely don't. No, you don't. No, not when you're up against the first black president.
Fair or not, there has been, I was at an event on Saturday with some prominent Democrats were openly, off the record, being really questionable at the brain trust surrounding this Obama campaign. And they're like, the message seems to be muddled. It doesn't seem to be direct. His strengths aren't really being fully utilized. And the lack of retail politics that he does, at least with other Democrats, whether it's just sour grapes on their part or not, they said has been mind-boggling. You talk to some of the same folks I do. There does seem to be a question of, what happened to these rocket scientists from 3.5 years ago? They haven't run the best campaign so far.
Oh, I don't know about that. This is a guy
who
inherited.
Fluff and Axelrod have done great here?
I didn't say that either. I'm not Peter Vallone. You can't yell at me. Look, he inherited an intolerable set of realities that he didn't cause. And the Republicans have spent 3.5 years going, look how bad things are. And he's been trying to say, well, look at what I inherited. In a campaign, there's going to be a moment when people say either the race is about the past, in which case he's in trouble, or the race is about the future, in which they're going to look at Romney and say, do you really want that kind of austerity in the United States? The kind of austerity that's being rejected all over the world? This race, even at this point, he's ahead. He's also ahead more clearly if you do a state-by-state analysis. Everybody take a deep breath.
All right. Well, one of the things, Andrew, that I do think is fair is, has he gotten equal treatment if you use precedents of the Oval Office and the tone of which the critics are coming? Now, people went after Bush, certainly, but it's different, it seems, for what this president's had to deal with.
Funny you should mention that, Rich, because I just happen to have some stuff prepared on that very subject. Going back to the president's announcement about immigration on Friday, it was interrupted by a credentialed journalist who instead decided to play heckler.
It is the right thing to do. Excuse me, sir. It's not time for questions, sir. Not while I'm speaking. And the answer to your question, sir, and the next time I'd prefer you let me finish my statements before you ask that question, is this is the right thing to do for the American people. Baby, I didn't ask for an argument. I'm answering your question.
No one in the White House press corps can recall a similar incident. This is the latest in a series of disses this president has faced. Remember this outburst from the 2009 State of the Union address?
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This, too, is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true.
Add to that the finger point diss the president got from Arizona Governor Jan Brewer earlier this year as the president flew to Arizona to honor Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. Rich.
All right. Is it just the day and age? You know, I saw an interesting piece where the days of two-term presidents could be becoming more and more the exception because of the glare of media in a 24/7 environment previous presidents hasn't, or instead of Barack Obama, if it was Bill O'Hanlon or something and he looked like me, would this guy be getting a different treatment?
Dominic?
Dominic?
You already know what I'm going to
So
say.
let's just skip over to
Yeah.
the
I put this to you this way. Name one time that one of those situations has ever happened to another president of the United States. There was the time when the guy threw the shoe at President Bush that was outside the
that guy was
country.
Iraqi.
This happened outside the country, and he went to jail for that.
Yeah.
Name one other time that Obama's a better man than me. Oh, he's a better man than me.
I always say you can never play the angry black man card.
Oh, he could. The first time he plays the angry black man, it's over. You don't think he's angry on the
Richard,
inside?
you think this, would they try this to Hillary?
yes, but
No.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Apparently I was wrong.
Yes. Yes.
And the correct
you were
answer
right,
is
Richard, you were right.
But the finger wag and the liar and
the answer is yes, because there's a meanness out there on the right that is really quite extraordinary. On the other hand, there's a racial component to this as well, and also a political strategy that says you get a guy with a name like Barack Obama, who's half African in descent, and you can make him into something alien from the mainstream.
If he was Christian. They question if he was an American. I mean, it's some of the core stuff. I think even those who are jaded like us in the media,
it's a combination of a strategy and an anger, and it's partially based on race, but it's partially a way of doing politics that's returning us to about 1790, which is when this kind of politics last dominated the American scene.
Dominic says,
I got
you're
that
right.
one right.
All